So you're looking to run for political office? Come on inside our office. It's quite big and quite expensive. Take a look around. It'll be good for you to see where all your money goes. Would you like some coffee? No? Cocktail? I guess it is a bit early. Listen, I know that as a political candidate, you are constantly in an emotionally heightened state. And I pledge to you that I will always take advantage of your emotional fragility to maximize my profits. Look, I know you've got a lot of choices when it comes to hiring a political consultant. And I'm sure you're considering some of these smaller shop guys who are hands-on and personally interact with their clients, but they're losers. They don't have what I have, a fancy office with lots of overhead. Some of these boutique firms and solo consultants have other sources of income or a spouse who works, so they don't really need your business. They may say that makes them rational or objective. I call that being uninvested. But for me, this is my only source of income, so I promise I will gouge you for every last dime you have. I'm sure you saw on our fancy website that we spent way more time and effort on than anything will ever make for you, that we've won all kinds of awards. And we're really proud to have received those awards, even though we essentially just paid some fellow political consultants who weren't able to verify any of what we claimed that we did. Because that's what matters to us, stroking our own egos and getting blackout drunk in Las Vegas. As your political consultant, I am fully committed to exploiting the sunk cost fallacy, so that you continue to pour more and more of your precious time and hard-earned money into the campaign, regardless of how it is actually going. As a political consultant, part of my shtick is constantly recounting stories from past campaigns, so that my clients think I have an ounce of credibility or the illusion of a track record. I once worked on a race in some city I've never even set foot in. It was a crowded primary, 5 candidates, big names with lots of money. Our client was a nobody, but he had us. But most importantly, he had lots of money. So election day gets closer, and he starts to have second thoughts about his viability and whether he should keep putting more and more of his personal money in. So I say to him, listen, I know this is tough and you're going through a lot, but you can do this. Not because you're special or unique or offer any solutions to what the voters need, but because you have us. And above all, your checks are clearing. So whatever you do, don't stop. And of course he didn't win. He finished a distant 4th despite outspending everybody else. The poor schmuck never had a chance. But the moral of the story is, I just closed on a $1.3 million house. My kids can still go to private school, and my wife doesn't have to go back to work. Hold on a second. This is Behemoth Consulting. Yeah, that's right. No, her name is Lacey. Yeah, Lacey. Don't tell my wife about that, though. That was one of your opponents. He's coming in tomorrow. But if you sign this contract today, I will still meet with him, but I won't work for him unless he has more money than you. Part of the campaign will involve us bringing in outside specialists and vendors, but it is absolutely critical that you remember that I am the most important person in this entire thing. Even if those other guys are doing actual work on the ground and in your district, they don't have what I have. A fancy office that you're paying for, far away from any of the voters who will actually determine your success. Now remember, those vendors and specialists, they don't work for you. They work for me. In fact, you also work for me now. And in full transparency, I have all kinds of undisclosed arrangements with all of these vendors and specialists. And I will always insist on using the people who will give me the biggest kickbacks, regardless of how good they actually are. Because my interests will always come before your interests. For instance, we once convinced a school board candidate to spend $15,000 on a poll. Did he need it? No. Did he win? Of course not. But he had the money, so I took it from him. Just checking on my stock portfolio. If you try to fire me, I'll threaten to sue you for breach of contract and even leak that information to your opponents so that they can use that against you in the election. And if you don't want to pay me my exorbitant fees, I'll just go find somebody to run against you so that you feel compelled to hire me. Because that's how much I care. The point is this: never ever underestimate my capacity for petty vindictiveness. I'm sure you're wondering about what works and what doesn't. See, unlike a lot of other businesses, it's hard in politics to gauge effectiveness. Because of that pesky secret ballot, we can only infer certain things from the data we have available. And so it can be really hard to prove what actually worked and what didn't. And so, I will also promise you this. If you win, I will take all of the credit. And if you lose, I will accept none of the blame. And so long as we political consultants can continue to escape accountability, we will always respect the sanctity and convenience of the secret ballot. Because values and principles matter to the voters, not to us. What kind of person am I? I'm an insecure alcoholic who pops pills, who will have a long-standing affair with my client that blows up my marriage, who has no problem screwing over my own business partner just so I don't have to downgrade my lifestyle after my ex-wife takes the house. So yes, you can absolutely trust me to manage six-figure budgets. I'll help elect terrible people whom even I won't vote for just so I don't have to slum it up in a 4-star hotel. Look, if you aren't able to monitor my activities, I have zero problem marking things up by 100% or more. As a political candidate, it's tough, but I swear to you that I will do all in my power to make this process as convoluted and complicated as possible so that you feel powerless and totally dependent upon my self-proclaimed expertise. Because ultimately, it doesn't matter whether you win or lose, so long as you keep writing checks. Now that you've signed, I need to go aggressively hunt down some more business so that I can pay for my insanely unstable lifestyle. We'll be in touch. I mean, we won't. You'll probably never hear from me again, but some mid-level overworked employee will eventually get around to completely failing to meet your expectations.